What is going on, guys? This is your Shopmaster, and today we're going to look at Madden 23 franchise deep dive. EA unveiled this earlier today, and so we're going to take a look at it and go through it. Some of the things that they talked about, like free agent goals, player tags, they all look great, but I just want to dive even deeper into them. I also submitted some questions to Connor McDougan, the executive producer of Franchise Mode, to get some questions answered. He hasn't sent them back, so I will go over them right now, so maybe I'll do that in another video. But I gotta say early on that this has been a long road, right? A lot of people have wanted updates to franchise for so long. Some of the things that they put in here are things that I suggested like 5 years ago. 5 years ago. So it's definitely good to see some of these things in here. Some of these things have been definitely something that definitely needed to be improved. And so let's go ahead and jump into the video. I'm going to turn my camera off so that you can see everything. I don't want you
to... In addition to the all-new Field Sense gameplay system in Madden 23, new features are coming to franchise this year. Today we're excited to share the details about free agency, motivations, tags, contracts, scouting, and some of the things we're doing to provide deeper immersion. We focus on these areas specifically to respond to player feedback, with the goal of enhancing the realism, authenticity, and fun within the mode.
All right, so here's where I would say this. Like, we need to make sure we hold them accountable to this. Like, they want to enhance realism, upgraded authenticity, and overall improved experience. Let's go ahead and get into the first feature that they're going to do, which is free agency goals.
To emulate the same level of drama and fun that fans experience during the free agency period each offseason, our goal with free agency in Madden 23 is a more competitive and rewarding experience for our players. In Madden 22, free agency signings were based on which team offered the most money to a player. In Madden 23, money remains a factor, but that's not the only factor. All new player motivations and tags add competition and skill to the process. They also drive decision-making beyond just the money offered when negotiating free agent contracts. Motivations help determine why a player chooses to sign with a particular team. Let's go deeper here with some real-world examples. Jarvis Landry just took an offer with the New Orleans Saints, and one of his motivations to sign there was going back home to Louisiana, where he grew up and played college ball.
All right, so to me, this is great, right? The motivations, like this particular motivation, is one that was actually in previous games, but you really didn't know the impact of, you know, playing for their home and stuff like that. You can see the other motivations like Super Bowl chase, want to play in for a contender, and a team has a franchise quarterback, and you can see that the impact of the Saints, because they don't have that franchise quarterback, and how it impacts Jarvis Landry here. This is awesome, and my question is, I wonder how many motivations do they have, because we've seen with other things that when they introduce something, sometimes they'll do it, but it'll be so small. Like, it'll be a handful and it'll start to get repetitive. And so I'm hoping that these vary a lot, and so that it doesn't get repetitive. I know they have two more scenarios, but I just sort of wanted to stop it right here to just indicate how I think this is great for the game.
We have the same motivation in Madden 23 called Close to Home. If a player has this motivation and you can satisfy it, it's going to give you a leg up in negotiations. Another example, wide receiver Russell Gage signed with Tampa Bay. He actually got a recruiting call from Tom Brady a few days before he signed with the Bucs. This is another new motivation in Madden 23 where players want to play with franchise quarterback.
All right, so I got to stop it right here. I know it shows right here, it says team has franchise quarterback. Actually, let me see if I can rewind it back. The second one, scheme fit. This is one that I had proposed to EA about 5 years ago, and how the scheme should definitely dictate at least a portion of how and why a player may want to sign there. Like, sometimes there are players who just are above the scheme, right? It doesn't matter what scheme Tom Brady is in, he's going to perform well anyways. It doesn't matter. He's the quarterback. They're going to go for whatever scheme that fits him. There are running backs who are just, I call them scheme proof. It doesn't matter what scheme, McCaffrey does he play well in more of a passing back down scheme? Yes. But can he run like anybody else? Yes. So I think there are some players, but maybe this player, Russell Gage Jr., who's not a big time wide receiver, maybe fitting into a scheme that fits him as he's starting to progress, he's more interested in that than being in a non-fit scheme. So again, I stopped it because I wanted to just point that out right there. The scheme fit, I think that's great that they're adding scheme fits. I hope that they're also adding that if he does not fit the scheme, that he doesn't progress as fast as if he was fitting the scheme. I know that is in the game, but sometimes it just doesn't correlate to the finished product. So a call from Brady overrides Gage's scheme fit or mentor at the position. Yeah. And by the way, guys, for those who are watching on YouTube, I am streaming on Twitch right now, so make sure you go to Twitch, Shopmaster TV, stick that follow button, follow me. I stream a lot, so just come on over there. And as we get ready for Madden 23, I'll be doing even more streaming. So let's go ahead and continue with the video.
Sign with the Bucks. This is another new motivation in Madden 23 where players want to play with franchise quarterbacks. Previously, players like Leonard Fournette, Antonio Brown, and Rob Gronkowski all signed with the Bucks to play alongside Brady, a legendary franchise quarterback. Our last example is linebacker Von Miller. He's a veteran who wants to win a Super Bowl first and foremost. That's Madden 23's Super Bowl contender motivation. Player motivations are going to better...
Okay, let's go back. Let's go back to Von Miller. So we take a look at Von Miller, his motivation is Super Bowl chase, which is what older players, kind of do, right? If they've never won a Super Bowl or they want to win another Super Bowl and they're not really worried about the money, they want to go to a team that's going to win a Super Bowl. That's what Von Miller has done here. Team has a franchise quarterback. They got Josh Allen. But you can see that even the highest offer though does impact them a little bit. Not as much as a Super Bowl chase or having a franchise quarterback, but you can see the highest offer does show some impact. What I would love to see, and I know this is great, this is our first time kind of seeing this, but what I would love to see is even more motivations. Like it looks like they're just taking the top 3 motivations, but I would love to see a list of motivations expanded to 5. Maybe they don't have enough motivations to expand to 5, but I would love to see like a player's top 5. But there's some other things in here that they're going to do that's great as well. So we're going to continue on with the player motivations.
23 Super Bowl contender motivation. Player motivations are going to better define where players go in free agency. So the decision is about much more than money. Does a player want to be in a big market? Does he need to be at the top of the depth chart in order to sign? Does he fit the offensive or defensive scheme?
So this is what I was talking about. Does he fit the defensive scheme? And you can see here with Anthony Barr, right outside linebacker, playing in Carolina's 4-3 under. That's a big impact for him. And I would think that younger players, or maybe older players, I don't know, but I would think there's probably a certain criteria, especially associated with a player's overall rating and what year they're in, where they feel like scheme fit matters more. So we'll see. He likes a warm weather state, which is, I don't know why Anthony Barr would care for a warm weather state, but I guess that's one of his motivations. And historic championships, I always wonder, like, what does that mean? Because I don't feel like the Panthers have historic championships. Do they have historic championships? And maybe that's why it's a negative impact, because they don't have historic championships. Maybe if he was going to someone like San Francisco or New England, those would probably be a little bit more impactful.
We even have a no-state income tax motivation for teams in Texas, Florida, and Washington, for example, which is pretty cool. We're also introducing all new player tags that directly impact free agents.
So player tags, that's the next thing that they're going to talk about. Again, sort of like motivations, each player has a specific tag, which I think is great, which is going to fall into how the logic is for free agents, how trade logic happens. We all know how bad the computer does trade logic. They'll have a franchise quarterback and still draft the quarterback in the first round. And then player progression. So we'll see. Let's see what they say about this.
Logic, trade logic, draft logic, and player progression. Let's walk through a few examples of player tags. When Aaron Rodgers wins the MVP award in Madden 23, he'll get the award winner tag. This will drive free agency AI and increase the interest of other teams to sign him and drive up his market value. Another player tag is called Day One Starter. A great example is wideout Jamar Chase.
Hold on, let's go back there because I want to take a look at this. I think this is definitely something that's good too, because we talk about like the quarterback situation and how, you know, a team will draft a player who they already have a great player at that position. With them giving these players, these rookies, sort of player tags, you know, then it signals to the sort of the computer, hey, let's not draft a Jamar Chase because we already have a great wide receiver as our number one wide receiver. So I love that kind of logic. And then it also has award winner. Teams are more interested in this player during free agency because he has won awards like Rookie of the Year and stuff like that. Awesome.
A great example is wideout Jamar Chase, who became the Bengals' top target on day one. With this, CPU teams will now utilize pro-ready prospects, moving them above similarly rated players on the depth chart to get them more reps and progress them faster. Player progression logic is improved as a result.
Okay, so I feel like that's one of the things that they just kind of glossed over. I would love for them to have talked about player progression and how that has improved. Right now, they're just saying it, but it really doesn't talk about how it has improved. So that was one of my questions to Connor McDougan is how has progression improved? You know, you talk about it in the video, you saying that these player tags will help with it. These motivations will help with it. How do they correlate?
One more tag example is veteran linebacker Bobby Wagner, who has the mentor tag. This tag gives an XP bonus to all players at the same position during weekly training. You're incentivized to sign veteran players because they can help develop your younger guys. The new free agency hub is where you place offers, compete with other teams, manage free agent signings, view player motivations and tags.
All right, so this has always been a pain point in Madden all season is the free agency hub and how limited it is and how boring it is. And so there are some things in here that I really, really, really like. The ability to place offers, compete against other teams, also being able to view these motivations and tags. But I think there's one thing, and when he talks about it, we'll talk about it, but there's one thing that I think is really good when it comes to free agency this year in Madden 23.
And more. You'll see each player's motivations in the upper middle portion of the screen, as well as his overall interest level in your team. Player motivations are displayed in order of importance and can be either a positive, negative, or neutral status. Next, in the upper right-hand corner, we have the Market Watch. This shows the current number of teams that are interested in the player, as well as his offer status. The status can be no offer, in the hunt, or not in the hunt. This provides valuable information as to whether or not you want to continue targeting a player. Below, you can also see his expected market value, which gives you a starting point on what you want to offer for his contract. Another new addition to the free agency system is the introduction of active negotiations. In order to create a sense of pressure, we've added limits to the number of offers you can have out there at any given stage. In stage 1, you have a...
All right, so this is one that I really love. I love the fact that they're going to limit negotiations in the first round, meaning no more can somebody with a whole bunch of money just go ahead and just give out offers to the top 7 guys, 10 guys for free agency. You're only going to have to, you only can negotiate with 5 guys in the first round, which is awesome. Which is awesome. The other thing I kind of like already when just looking at this is that nowhere where it says how much somebody is offering. So it says, the Market Watch, they talked about it. It gives you a status, not in the hunt, because you haven't kind of given them an offer yet. Actually, it does say you withdraw your offer. It says evaluation offers remain 1. But it doesn't tell you like how much the other team is offering. And I always dislike that. And it looks like they've solved that this year.
max of 5 players you can negotiate with, so you need to be thoughtful going after those top-tier free agents. As the stages advance, you'll be able to offer more players, so in stage 2, you'll get up to 10 offers per eval period, and then after that stage, you'll have an unlimited number of negotiations. We also added the Evaluate Offers button at the bottom of the screen, which allows you to place an offer without advancing the week, giving you more opportunities to go back and forth with your free agent targets each week.
So that is probably one of the most that is the best thing that they've done for this free agent thing. I hated putting in offers and then you have to wait to the advance for you to see if they declined your offer or not. So now you're able to see right when you offer them whether they like it or not. So I like that. We'll see how it works out, because I'm thinking, okay, so if he doesn't like it, do I just keep going and keep upping it until he likes it? But it doesn't mean that he's signed. So I don't think that you can keep upping it until he's signed. I think you keep upping it until he's like, okay, yeah, I like this offer. And then maybe after the advance, it shows whether he's signed or not. That's again another question I had for Connor.
Finally, at the bottom of the screen is where you can sort through the available players each week, view their player card, target your players, and make your offers. We've added 4 new contract offer presets to help streamline the negotiation process. Player-friendly, team-friendly, neutral, and very player-friendly. And they each come with their own risk and reward. You can still customize your offers as well.
All right, so let's go back there and take a look at some of the things. So I like this because it sort of takes the guesswork out of, if you're not a very if you're not very savvy GM and you don't know what to offer, having these little things like this really helps with casual players who really don't want to get into the nook and cranny of things. They can just say, hey, look, I just want to offer, give him a very player-friendly contract, which means there's a high acceptance chance, but you're overpaying that player. And then what was the other ones? Hold on, let me go.
Friendly,
Team friendly, where you get great for cap space, but the player is unlikely to accept.
Friendly, neutral.
And then you got neutral, which is close to market value, but the player still may not accept. He may or may not accept.
And very player-friendly. And they each come with their own risk and reward. You can still customize your offers as well. And a top community request, new rollover cap, allows you to carry over unused cap space to the next year.
So that has always been an issue as well, and definitely something that the community has expressed that they wanted in upcoming franchise modes is the rollover. Definitely a good thing to add there. I'm not surprised that it took them so long to add it, but there still might be some issues with the rollover. Like, how much can you roll over? Can you just roll over everything, there should be a set amount. And this is where I wish that EA would allow you to do like big time customizations in franchise mode, allow you to do just be able to customize everything, like how much rollover, even to the point of how many free agents can you go after via each stage, stuff like that. We all want more customization.
We've taken the top requests from player feedback to improve franchise scouting for Madden 23. First, we've added more scouts to the pool so you can get information on prospects faster and to optimize your chances in the draft. No matter what your team needs are, you can now find and hire scouts that are experts at evaluating any position. You can also now scout multiple positions at each stage to unlock information on more prospects in less time. In Madden 22, as you scouted a prospect at any given position, attributes and ratings were revealed randomly. For example, if you were scouting for a QB, a rating like break tackle might have been revealed early in the process, but that's not an important attribute for QB evaluation. In Madden 23, we've added weighted attribute reveals. Now, the ratings that matter most to the position you're scouting are revealed first. For example, throw power and throw accuracy will be revealed early for a QB. We've continued to listen to feedback from our community and have tuned and improved other important areas of franchise, including draft classes, franchise hub, and overall immersion updates. We've added more than 30 new player generators to our draft classes and tuned existing ones. Now you can find unique and fun players in every draft round. You'll also be able to see generational prospects in the draft. These player finds are rare, but they come with a high overall rating and will be guaranteed X factors. This is super valuable as you develop your franchise for long-term success. With updated trade logic, CPU teams will place more players on the trade block and give you more offers via the new trade target tags.
So that's another thing that I think is going to be money as well, is the being able to tag guys that you're able to trade, and it will also allow you to just sort those things. Let me see everybody that's on the trade block. Those are the type of things that we love to see.
We've also added the ability to get immediate trade offers without having to advance the week before you hear back from.
Again, like, this is another big step especially in 32 online man teams. Like, you shouldn't have to wait till the week advances for somebody to accept your trade. You should be able to make multiple trades a week and people be able to accept it and it just go through like that. So that's a big improvement right there, that you're able to make trades and they happen right then, and there's no, well, we got to advance the week in order for that trade to go through. Now, I'm hoping that there still is some kind of, especially when you're in online leagues, maybe some kind of commissioner type override or something. We'll see. I'm waiting for the next deep dive franchise to talk about, blog to talk about that.
Team. Adjustments to team needs logic ensures that teams are valuing higher rated veteran players, and players with dev traits also have more value. This will impact how CPU teams draft and make trade offers. New CPU draft logic ensures teams are drafting the right players, and with new player tags, we've improved how each team approaches roster development. For example, the Jacksonville Jaguars, who drafted Trevor Lawrence in 2021 as their franchise quarterback, won't be looking to draft another quarterback and instead will focus on a different need. It's now easier to unlock and assign abilities. You can assign more abilities and create more variation for your players, and the most impactful abilities are now gated by higher overall ratings.
All right, so that's big as well. Before, you were limited to sort of how many, abilities you can put on a player. But I still love the fact that you can sort of customize your abilities. I love that for franchise mode, being able to customize a player's ability depending on the opponent that you're facing. Maybe you want this to be a more run heavy scheme, so you put armbar on your running back or something like that. But it looks like they're adding more, and now they're just gating a lot of the upper abilities to higher overalls.
Scouting UI improvements make it easier to assign scouts and create a cooler look at the mock drafts. In the franchise hub, we added team colors and logos to give your franchise's home base some life and personalization. We've also made the activity feed on the left easier to use, and we've decluttered some of the text and improved our transitions for a smoother experience.
All right, so let's just take a look at that real quick. I definitely love the way the new UI looks. It just looks better. It looks clean. It just looks better. Everything is tighter. We'll see how this plays out. I'm guessing the red dots mean those are things that you have to do. So I'm loving what I'm seeing so far from franchise mode.
And improved our transitions for a smoother experience. We're excited about all the improvements coming to franchise in Madden 23. We can't wait for you to experience it yourself.
All right, so just to go over like my quick thoughts on franchise mode as we've seen in this video. I think definitely you can see the improvements there. I love the fact that they're getting away from having to kind of sim the week for things to happen, and things can just happen on the fly. I'm loving the player tags and player motivations. I think those will go a long ways, not only for free agency and contracts and scouting, but I think it also is going to go a long ways, hopefully, when it comes to progressing your players. They didn't really talk about progressing your players that much in this video. In fact, they didn't talk about it at all. They just said that they improved it. They don't know. We just don't know how they improved it. So, well, I'm very interested in that. Other than that, really the only thing I want to see is really how drafts are done, how player progression is done from a user standpoint, and like, is there flex scheduling, for especially for those offline guys. I know offline guys always talk about flex schedules and stuff like that, but we'll see. The game looks good. The UI looks really good. So, oh, and the other thing that I'm looking forward to is commissioner tools. Like, I really want them to have more commissioner tools. Commissioners should have total access over what's going on in their leagues. It shouldn't just be left up to, the CPU or other users to do. There should be ways that the commissioner can erase scores, should be able to edit other people's teams, like give players back, fix their cap, fix their contracts, stuff like that, And people will say, well, you don't want the commissioner to have too much access and too much power, because commissioners will get shady. And my answer to that is, don't be in a league with a shady commissioner. Like, the commissioner should have control over everything, and you should be able to trust that commissioner to do the things that need to be done to keep that franchise running. So, that's it. It looks good. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Also follow me over here on twitch.tv/ShopmasterTV, and look forward to Madden. I'm definitely going to be running a Madden franchise. So make sure you come through, hit !Discord in my Twitch chat to get the Discord link, and I will see you guys later. This is your Shop. I'm out. Peace.